Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Am I audible? Am I visible? Please let me know so that we can start. Okay. So today's topic is dose response curve. Okay. So dose response curve, as the name tells, it is a curve. Hi Piyush. Hi Minu. So we were discussing about dose response curve. So this is a curve. As the name tells, curve. What is curve? Curve. I'm not talking about 36, 24, 36 curve. Curve in pharmacology means graph. So it is a graph between dose and response. So what will happen if we plot a graph between dose and response? So on the x-axis we keep the dose, on the y-axis we keep the response. Now we want to plot a graph. So what we basically do, we give a small dose to a person, then see the effect. Then we increase the dose and see the effect. Then increase the dose further, see the effect. So in this manner, we keep on increasing the dose and plot a graph. So literally speaking, suppose we have 100 receptors of a particular substance in the body, and we give 10 molecules from outside, so they will stimulate 10 receptors only, so that will produce lesser action. If we give 20 molecules, they can stimulate 20 receptors, more action. If we give 40 molecules, they can stimulate 40 receptors, still more action. So we keep on increasing the dose, response keep on increasing. But at one time, when all 100 receptors are stimulated, now even on increasing the dose, response will not increase. That means even if we give 200, 300, 500, 1000 molecules, maximum effect can be because of 100 receptors only. So that means with increase in dose, the response increases first. Keep on increasing, keep on increasing. But at one time it become constant, it will not increase further. So this is the classical shape of DRC, dose response curve, and mathematically this curve is known as hyperbola. So if someone asks you what is the shape of dose response curve, it is hyperbola. Hmm. But there is a problem with this curve. What is the problem? It is not a straight line. If we want to compare different drugs, we want to do different things, we want straight lines because straight lines can be easily compared. But it is a curved line. So curved lines are difficult to compare. So what we want? We want a straight line. So how to make it a straight line? So to make it a straight line, we do a little modification. What modification we do? We will just add a logarithmic thing on the x-axis. So instead of dose on the x-axis, we take logarithm of dose, y-axis remain a response. So the shape changes. So when we plot a log DRC, that means on the x-axis there is log dose, and on the y-axis there is a response. Now the shape changes. It do not remain hyperbolic curve. Now it become an S-shaped curve. S-shaped curve, and this is known as sigmoid curve. So remember, the shape of DRC was hyperbola, whereas shape of log DRC is sigma. Okay? Now the first question, why we converted into logarithmic form? Why we do log DRC, not we do not do DRC? Log DRC क्यों कर रहे हैं हम? क्या चाहिए था हमें? What did we want? क्या चाहिए था हमें? We wanted a straight line. But when we plot a log DRC, what we noted, it is curved from this point also, and it is curved from this point also. जो DRC था, that was curved only at one point. But this is curved here also, here also. ये तो फायदे की जगह नुकसान होगी. So what is the advantage of converting into logarithmic form? It is bent at 2 points. तो क्या फायदा हुआ? सो इफ यू सी केयरफुली द मिडल पोर्शन, दिस पोर्शन इज अ स्ट्रेट लाइन. Middle portion is a straight line means if we give lesser dose than this, adequate response is not there. If we give more than this dose, usually the toxicity will occur. So clinically we are most likely to give in this range, and the range which we are using clinically, that is falling in a straight line. So that's why we can use log DRC. So what is the advantage of log DRC? Although it is a sigmoid curve, but the middle portion, which is the clinically most relevant portion, it is a straight line. So middle portion is a straight line. That is the advantage. Okay, so this is number one. Middle portion is a straight line. So we, instead of converting into hyperbola, we have converted into sigmoid. The middle portion is a straight line. So we got middle portion which is straight, so we can compare. Now, apart from this, what is the other advantage or disadvantage of converting into logarithmic form? We do not use DRC anymore. We always use log DRC. Why log DRC? Why not DRC? Now tell me. This we have not discussed in our videos. So why we use a DRC, not log DRC? Tell me. Most important thing, biologically, the responses are in logarithmic fashion. So it is not that we double the dose, the effect doubles. But when we make the dose 10 times, then the effect doubles. So usually the biological system works in the logarithmic form. So the graph will be more biological type, that means more actual type when we plot in the logarithmic form. And third, and the most important reason why we plot in the logarithmic form, if you see, if we see in the logarithmic form, that there will be equal distance between 10 times. So you can see there will be equal distance between the 1, 10, 100, 1000. So logarithm works like this, multiples. Whereas if we plot here in the normal without log form, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like that. Clear? So what is the difference is, when we plot in a logarithmic form in a lesser space, we can plot too many doses. Like we want to plot between 1 and 1000. And we are plotting without dose, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. For 1000 we need a very long paper. That is practically not possible. So what we do in logarithmic form. So we will make it 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. So 1000 will become quite easy. So multiple doses can be plotted easily in the logarithmic paper. Okay, so three important reasons why we do log DRC. We do not plot a normal DRC without logarithmic DRC. Number one, it gives us a sigmoid curve, the middle portion of which is a straight line. Number two, natural biological responses occur in the logarithmic form. And number three, multiple doses we can plot in lesser space. Okay, you understand now why we use log DRC? We do not use a standard DRC. Yeah. So we always use log DRC. We do not use a DRC anymore. The only question that is asked from DRC is what is shape of DRC? It is hyperbola. Whereas what is shape of log DRC? It is sigma. Yeah. So in our further discussion, wherever we will discuss, we always use log DRC, but we commonly keep on saying DRC. Because by not speaking log, we save 0.05 seconds of time, which is very, very crucial for us. Okay. So what are the important parameters we can obtain from log DRC? The standard log DRC which we obtain, it is known as graded DRC or graded log DRC. Graded simply means on the y-axis we plot a grade. We put a grade of the dose. That means lesser dose, slightly more dose, slightly more dose, slightly more dose, maximum dose. Response. So on the y-axis, response is plotted like if we see the effect of a drug on blood pressure. So increase in blood pressure by 10 millimeter, 20 millimeter, 40 millimeter, 80 millimeter. So if we are plotting a grade of response on the y-axis, it is called as graded DRC. So what is the important things we obtain from the log DRC? We obtain three important parameters. One is called as potency. Second is called as efficacy. And third is called as slope. So we obtain three important parameters: potency, efficacy, and slope. So what are these things? We'll discuss these one by one, starting from potency. So potency, what do you mean by potency? Kya hota potency? So as the name tells, potency. No, I am not talking about wo Baba Sarem wali potency. Here, राम रहीम वाली पोटेंसी उनकी बात नहीं कर रहा मैं। पोटेंसी क्या होता है? पोटेंसी पीओ, स्टार्ट विद पीओ। पीओ मीन्स टेल द पावर ऑफ अ ड्रग, हाउ पावरफुल अ ड्रग इज। Power means suppose we have two drugs, both are used to increase blood pressure. One drug A, it can increase the blood pressure by giving a dose of 10 milligram, whereas a drug B increase the same amount of blood pressure when we give 100 milligram. So which drug is more powerful according to you? So obviously this drug is more powerful. Why A is more powerful? Because we require lesser dose. So that means the drug which produces similar response at lower dose is more potent. So potency is always relative. We cannot say this is potent drug. It is always comparison between the two. Okay. So a drug which is required in lesser dose is more potent, which is required in higher dose is less potent. Okay. So if we plot a DRC, so can you tell me which drug is more potent, which is less potent? Suppose this is log dose, this is a response. So this is the first drug, drug A. This is second drug, drug B. According to you, which drug should be more potent? So it's very easy. So we see dose. Dose is on this axis, x-axis. So this left side is lesser dose, right side dose keep on increasing. So if we want a particular response, suppose this response, we see that this response is produced by, suppose here 10 milligram of a dose, whereas in case of B, the same response is produced by 20 milligram. So which drug is more potent? Obviously, which is producing at a lower dose. So that means the drug A is more potent. So by looking at the DRC, you can easily tell which of curve is on left side of the graph that is more potent. So just look at left and right in case of potency. Left-sided curves are more potent drugs. Right-sided curves are less potent drugs. So potency is left and right. Left is more potent. Right is less potent. Okay. So that is potency. Now coming to efficacy. So what do you mean by efficacy? Efficacy, as the name tells, it is effect of a drug. Effect means a response. But what is the difference? Efficacy is maximum effect of a drug, and add to this regardless of dose. That means in case of efficacy, we never talk about dose. We only see which produce more effect. Clear? So whatever dose may be, if one drug produce more action than second, even if we need to give 1,000 times high dose, it will be more efficacious. Okay, so efficacy, simply see which curve is higher. Remember response here. Higher response means more efficacy, lower response means less efficacy. So if I plot another graph here, suppose this is a drug C and this is a drug D. So which is most efficacious? Most efficacious is the highest curve C. Least efficacious is the lowest curve D. So efficacy simply means height. More height, more efficacy, less height, less efficacy. So this thing you can remember easily whenever they talk about potency or efficacy in a log DRC. Always take help. Do not hesitate from taking the help. This is true in life also. Whenever you are stuck, do not shy away from taking help. So what is help? Help says height tells about efficacy, means more height, more efficacious, less height, less efficacious, and left-sidedness tells about potency, more on the left, more potent, more on the right, less potent. So again, making a graph. Now can you tell me quickly with the sequence of potency and efficacy? So this is a response. This is log dose. I am randomly writing several drugs. So this is drug A, this is drug B, this is drug C, this is drug D, this is drug E. So tell me the sequence of potency and sequence of efficacy. So it is very easy. So how will she? Remember, help. Height tells about efficacy. So if we talk about height, the highest curve is E. So the most efficacious is E. Then below the E we have B. Then below the B we have A. then we have D, and then we have C. Okay, so E is most efficacious and C is least efficacious. Easy one. Then potency, left-sidedness tells about potency. For potency, go from left to right. So potency most potent is A, followed by B, then followed by C, followed by D, and followed by E. That is the sequence. Okay, so potency left to right and efficacy high to low. You can easily tell about this. Now coming to the important thing, there is a term similar to efficacy commonly used, that is effectiveness. So what is the difference between efficacy and effectiveness of a drug? दोनों में फर्क क्या है? Efficacy में और effectiveness में क्या फर्क है? पहले होता क्या है? We'll try to understand what are the meaning of these terms. So we'll understand in terms like you must have seen advertisement of a car in television. So they give an advertisement that this car gives an average of 20 kilometer per liter. Okay, so we buy that car thinking that 20 की एवरेज मिल जाएगी ना. तो हिंदी में समझाता हूँ कि गाड़ी की ऐड आती है, उसमें कहते हैं कि इस गाड़ी की एवरेज 20 किलोमीटर पर लीटर. तो हम ये सोच के कि भैया बड़ी सस्ती पड़ जाएगी, पेट्रोल तो इतना महंगा है, तो हम वो गाड़ी खरीद लेते हैं कि 20 की एवरेज मिले. बट जब हम वो गाड़ी चलाते हैं, व्हेन वी ड्राइव दैट कार, बट वी गेट एन एवरेज ऑफ 10, 11, समटाइम्स 12. हाईवे पे चले जाते हैं तो 14, 15 भी मिल जाती है, ठीक है. बट वी नेवर गेट एवरेज ऑफ दोस 20. नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज, वर दे लाइंग? जो एडवर्टाइजमेंट दे रहे थे क्या वो झूठ बोल रहे थे? नहीं, वो झूठ नहीं बोल रहे थे. देयर आर टू डिफरेंट थिंग्स. जो वो बता रहे थे दैट वाज एफिकेसी, दैट मींस मैक्सिमम यू कैन गेट, और जो हमें एक्चुअल में मिलता है दैट इज इफेक्टिवनेस. तो एफिकेसी टेस्ट करने के लिए व्हाट दे हैव डन इज दे हैव ड्रिवन द कार अंडर आइडियल कंडीशंस. कार वो आइडियल कंडीशंस में चला रहे हैं. कैसे चला रहे हैं कि बिल्कुल प्लेन रोड, उसमें कोई खड्डा नहीं, कोई बैरियर नहीं है, तो बिल्कुल प्लेन रोड है, ठीक है. गाड़ी उसमें चल रही है, प्लस कोई उसमें रेड लाइट नहीं है, कोई ट्रैफिक नहीं है, कोई गाय नहीं आएगी बीच में. सो व्हेन वी कंटिन्यूअसली ड्राइव द कार एट 45 किलोमीटर पर आवर, देन वी गेट दैट बेस्ट एवरेज. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड एफिकेसी. सो एफिकेसी इज अंडर कंट्रोल्ड कंडीशंस, कंट्रोल्ड कंडीशंस. बट when we come to actual practice, जब हमने वो गाड़ी खरीद ली, so we will not get those ideal conditions. So what we will do, जब हम गाड़ी चलाएंगे तो हमें गाड़ी में खड्डे भी आएंगे, ब्रेकर भी आएंगे, ठीक है, बीच में गाय भी आ जाएगी, कई बार रेड लाइट पे भी रुकना पड़े, ठीक. तो इन सारी चीजों के कारण द एक्चुअल एवरेज डिक्रीजेस. सो व्हाट वी एक्चुअली गेट इज इफेक्टिवनेस. तो इन केस ऑफ ड्रग्स व्हाट वी से, इफेक्टिवनेस इज अंडर क्लिनिकल कंडीशंस. So this thing we actually do when we test a drug in clinical trial. जब हम clinical trial में दवाई को टेस्ट करते हैं, so we put a lot of riders, मतलब जो भी उसकी एक्शन को कम कर सकती है कंडीशन, वो सब हटा देते हैं, ठीक है. जैसे हम कहते हैं कि दवाई के साथ खाना नहीं खाना, दवाई के साथ अल्कोहल नहीं पीना, ठीक है, डायबिटिक्स को नहीं देनी, इस वाले पेशेंट को नहीं देनी, उसको नहीं देनी, तो जिसमें भी प्रॉब्लम होती है वी रिमूव दैट थिंग, ठीक. सो वट एवर वी गेट विल बी बेस्ट. So that is under controlled conditions, so that we test efficacy. So in clinical trials we test efficacy. But when we talk about actual clinical practice, when the drugs comes in the market, जब दवाई मार्केट में आ गई, we will not get that thing. क्यों? क्योंकि हमें हो सकता है डायबिटिक पेशेंट भी ले रहा हो दवाई, ठीक है, रात को दारू पीना भी जरूरी है. तो we are doing many things which may decrease the action of that drug. So what we actually get is effectiveness. ठीक है. तो क्लिनिकल ट्रायल्स में वी डू एफिकेसी टेस्टिंग, बट इन एक्चुअल क्लिनिकल प्रैक्टिस वी सी इफेक्टिवनेस. नाउ अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज विच इज क्लिनिकली मोर इंपॉर्टेंट, एफिकेसी इंपॉर्टेंट है या इफेक्टिवनेस ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है? क्लिनिकली ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट क्या होगा आपके हिसाब से? एफिकेसी इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट और इफेक्टिवनेस इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट. तो ऑब्वियसली इट इज इफेक्टिवनेस, है ना, क्योंकि जो हमें मिल रहा है वही तो इंपॉर्टेंट है. बट इफ वी सी फार्माकोलॉजी बुक, मेडिसिन बुक खोल के देख लो, you will get this word efficacy 100 times. This drug is more efficacious, this is less efficacious, but this effectiveness hardly you will get once or twice. अगर effectiveness ही ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है तो हम effectiveness की बात क्यों नहीं करते, हम efficacy की बात ही क्यों करते हैं? Why we always keep on talking about efficacy? क्यों? सपोज आपको बोले कि आपको एक कार की एडवर्टाइजमेंट करनी है, यू वांट टू एडवर्टाइज अ कार. कैसे करोगे एडवर्टाइजमेंट? कि ये एवरेज 12 की देती है, 14 की देती है, हाईवे पे ले जाओ तो 16 भी दे सकती है, बहुत और बढ़िया हो जाए तो 18 की भी दे सकती है, कैसे दोगे? ऑब्वियसली फॉर गिविंग एन एडवर्टाइजमेंट वी नीड टू फिक्स द थिंग्स कि भैया बेस्ट जो है वो 20 है, इससे ज्यादा नहीं मिलेगी। सो दैट इज बेस्ट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एफिकेसी, बिकॉज इफेक्टिवनेस विल वेरी फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन। मेरे में अलग एक्शन आएगा, किसी और में अलग एक्शन आएगा, सुबह अलग एक्शन आएगा, शाम को अलग एक्शन आएगा, किसी दवाई के साथ खा रहे हो अलग एक्शन आएगा। सो इट विल कीप ऑन चेंजिंग। सो इफेक्टिवनेस इज नॉट फिक्स्ड वेयर एज एफिकेसी इज फिक्स्ड। तो इसलिए हम एफिकेसी की बात करते हैं। सो व्हेन वी से एफिकेसी, एफिकेसी इज अबाउट अ ड्रग, ठीक है? तो फिरोसेमाइड इज हाईली एफिकेशियस ड्रग, ठीक है? बट व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट इफेक्टिवनेस वी से effect of furosemide in Ramlal on 20th of June 2024 at 6 p.m. ठीक है? और उस हॉस्पिटल में उस बीमारी के लिए, तो इफेक्टिवनेस इज actual clinical practice we get and efficacy is maximum or the best we can get. Okay, so clinically which is more important is effectiveness. We always talk about efficacy because in pharmacology we talk about drug, क्योंकि फिरोसेमाइड सिर्फ रामलाल को नहीं मिलनी, फिरोसेमाइड तो गब्बर भी लेगा, है ना? फिरोसेमाइड तो बहुत सारे लोग लेंगे, फिरोसेमाइड तो जय बीरू भी लेंगे। तो फिरोसेमाइड as such we cannot say effectiveness, so effectiveness in a particular person. Okay, now one last thing, among the potency and efficacy which is more important? इफेक्ट्स, एफिकेसी, इफेक्टिवनेस तो समझ आ गया ना आपको? व्हाट इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट इन पोटेंसी एंड एफिकेसी? क्लिनिकली पोटेंसी ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है या एफिकेसी ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट? लेट मी नो क्लिनिकली विच इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट, पोटेंसी और एफिकेसी, कौन ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है? जल्दी से बताओ। नाउ क्लिनिकली मोर इंपॉर्टेंट, हम इसको समझने के लिए अगेन लेट्स मेक अ chart. Suppose we want a person comes to us with blood pressure of 180 millimeter of mercury, and we want to reduce this blood pressure to 120 millimeter of mercury. That means we want to reduce the blood pressure by 60 millimeter of mercury. And we have two drugs A and B, both are antihypertensive drugs, and we want to compare the two. इन दोनों को compare कर रहे हैं। Suppose when we give 10 milligram of drug A, BP decrease by 10 millimeter of mercury, whereas drug B has no action at this dose. When we give 20 milligram, the blood pressure decrease by 20 millimeter by A, but by B it decrease only by 5 millimeter. When we give 40 milligram, the drug A decrease the BP by 30 millimeter, whereas drug B decrease the BP by 20 millimeter. When we give 80 milligram, drug decrease A decrease the BP by 30 millimeter, whereas drug B decrease it by 40 millimeter. When we give 160 milligram of a drug, drug A decrease 30 millimeter, drug B decrease by 60 millimeter. When we give 320 milligram, drug A decrease by 30, drug B decrease by 60. And at whatever high dose we give, A can decrease by 30, B can decrease by 60. So that is the comparison of the two drugs. Now tell me, out of the two, which drug is more potent? Which is more potent, A or B? दोनों में से पोटेंट ज्यादा कौन सी है? ए ज्यादा पोटेंट है या बी ज्यादा पोटेंट है? व्हाट इज पोटेंसी? पोटेंसी हमने क्या बताया था? यस, पोटेंसी इज, यस पोटेंसी इज डोज, जो कम डोज पे एक्शन करती है। सो ए इज प्रोड्यूसिंग एक्शन एट लोअर डोज, सो इट इज मोर पोटेंट ड्रग। ज्यादा पोटेंट कौन है? Which is more efficacious? Efficacy is highest effect, maximum effect. So more efficacious is B. So A is more potent, B is more efficacious. Okay. Now tell me, which drug will you use in this person? इस आदमी में आप कौन सी दवाई चूज करोगे, A और B, and why? Which drug will you choose and why? The reason. इस आदमी में जो आपके पास आया है जिसका BP 180 मिलीमीटर ऑफ मर्करी है, you want to decrease it to 120. Question is, which drug will you choose and why? कौन सी दवाई दोगे और क्यों दोगे? Which drug will you use? Yes, everyone is saying B. हम B यूज करेंगे। क्यों B यूज करेंगे? Why we will use B? Why we will not use A? Because we want to decrease by 60 millimeter of mercury. A तो वो कर ही नहीं सकती, B कर सकती है, तो B यूज करेंगे। ठीक? Remember, although A is more potent, but ऐसी पोटेंसी का क्या फायदा जो एक्शन हम कर ही नहीं सकते। ठीक? सो बी एक्शन कर सकती है, क्यों? ऑल्दो वी रिक्वायर हायर डोज, बट हमें किसी ने रोका थोड़ी है कि नहीं आपको 40 मिलीग्राम ही देनी है, आप 80 नहीं दे सकते, 160 नहीं दे सकते ना? तो एक्शन आना तो चाहिए, लॉजिकल है ना कि अगर एक्शन ही नहीं आएगा तो ऐसी स्ट्रांग दवाई हमारे लिए बेकार है। एक्शन आना जरूरी है। अगर हमें एक्शन आ गया तो उसके लिए हमें एक की जगह दो गोली देनी पड़ेगी तो काम चल जाएगा ना। तो एफिकेसी इज क्लिनिकली ऑलवेज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट देन पोटेंसी। whenever we choose between the two drugs, always it is efficacy, हमेशा efficacy प्रायोरिटी होती है, पोटेंसी हमेशा सेकेंडरी होती है। अगर दोनों एफिकेशियस हैं, हम दोनों दवाइयां ए और बी यूज कर सकते हैं, ओनली देन वी विल थिंक कि हम ए करें या बी करें बेस्ड ऑन पोटेंसी। बट अगर उन दोनों में से एक एफिकेशियस है ही नहीं तो वो तो रूल आउट ही होगी, वी कैन नॉट। क्लियर? सो क्लिनिकली द ऑलवेज प्राइम क्राइटेरिया इज एफिकेसी, ठीक है, पोटेंसी इज ऑलवेज सेकेंडरी। समझ आ गए? सो दैट इज द इंपॉर्टेंट डिफरेंस बिटवीन पोटेंसी एंड एफिकेसी ऑफ अ ड्रग। अब हम एक और चीज पे चलते हैं। सपोज वी आर प्लॉटिंग अ ग्राफ एंड द ड्रग इज अ सीएनएस डिप्रेसेंट। एक दवाई है जो सीएनएस डिप्रेसेंट है। सो इफ वी प्लॉट अ रिस्पॉन्स हियर, इट विल बी सीएनएस डिप्रेशन। दैट मीन्स स्लाइट डिप्रेशन ऑफ ब्रेन विल प्रोड्यूस सिडेशन, ड्राउजीनेस करेगा। थोड़ा सा और कर देंगे, डोज बढ़ा देंगे, द पर्सन कैन गो टू स्लीप। इफ वी इंक्रीज द डिप्रेशन फर्दर, देयर विल बी एनेस्थीसिया। और बहुत ज्यादा डिप्रेशन हो गया ब्रेन का, द पर्सन विल गो इनटू कॉम। So these are the grades of CNS depression. Okay, so we have two drugs which are producing the same thing. So person comes to you with insomnia, person को नींद नहीं आ रही, so we want to induce sleep. So we want to induce sleep, so we will choose a drug which depress the brain that can produce sleep. तो हमने दो दवाइयां देखी। we have drug A which has graph like this drug A. And then we saw that drug B can also produce sleep, but B produce sleep like this. The effect of B is like this. So this is drug A, this is drug B. So what we wanted, we want to produce sleep, we want to induce sleep. So if we see, if we want to induce sleep and we choose drug A, the dose we required is this, maybe it is 10 milligram. And if we want B for same action, the dose required is this, it may be 20 milligram. So what we noted that based on the dose response curve, both A and B can produce sleep. A produce the sleep at 10 milligram and B produce the sleep at 20 milligram. So which drug will you prefer? Will you prefer A or will you prefer B? दोनों में से आप कौन सी चूज करोगे? दोनों स्लीप इंड्यूस कर सकते हैं, A B और B भी, है ना? दोनों में से चूज कौन सी करोगे? विच ड्रग विल यू चूज? ड्रग ए और ड्रग बी। ए 10 मिलीग्राम में करती है, बी 20 मिलीग्राम में करती है। दोनों में से कौन सी चूज करना चाहोगे आप? ए और बी, विच ड्रग विल यू चूज? सपोज एज पीपल आर सेइंग दैट ए इज प्रोड्यूसिंग द इफेक्ट एट 10 मिलीग्राम, देन व्हाई वी विल गो फॉर बी? हम 20 मिलीग्राम क्यों दें, ए ही देंगे। तो हमने 10 मिलीग्राम दे दी। बट व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन दीज टू ड्रग्स? इफ यू सी, दे आर स्टार्टिंग द इफेक्ट फ्रॉम सेम पॉइंट, दे हैव सेम मैक्सिमम इफेक्ट, बट द डिफरेंस इज स्लोप. ड्रग ए इज स्टीप कर्व, suddenly the effect increases, whereas drug B slowly effect is increasing, so it is relatively flat curve. तो as we choose drug A के हम ज्यादा क्यों दे, जब 10 मिलीग्राम पे एक्शन हो रहा है तो हमने 10 मिलीग्राम ड्रग A दिया, पर्सन गो टू स्लीप, देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम। रात को उसने गोली ली, एक आराम से सो गया, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। नेक्स्ट डे वी गिव 10 मिलीग्राम ऑफ ड्रग A, पर्सन स्लीप्स, क्योंकि A स्लीप तो प्रोड्यूस करेगा ना 10 मिलीग्राम पे। तो आदमी ने 3 दिन 4 दिन ड्रग A 10 मिलीग्राम लिया रात को और आदमी सो गया। अब नेक्स्ट डे क्या हुआ, इस आदमी का अपनी वाइफ से झगड़ा हो गया, ठीक होता ही है, ठीक। तो उसको लगा कि अरे यार ये तो सारा दिन चिक चिक करती रहेगी, बोलती रहेगी, मेरे को तो नींद आएगी नहीं। तो उसने क्या किया, एक की जगह 2 गोली खा ली। कहता 10 मिलीग्राम की जगह 20 मिलीग्राम ले लेता हूं, क्योंकि एक से तो गोली खाई नींद आएगी नहीं। तो इफ द पर्सन टेक 20 मिलीग्राम, व्हाट हैपेंस? 20 मिलीग्राम लिया तो क्या हुआ, पर्सन परमानेंटली स्लीप्स, हमेशा के लिए सो गया, कोमा में चला गया। So that is the problem with the steep DRC. If we increase the dose slightly, the response increases so much. क्योंकि स्टीप कर्व है, क्लियर, स्टीप कर्व, स्लाइट इंक्रीज इन डोज, सो मच इंक्रीज इन रिस्पॉन्स. सो स्टीप, you can remember S for steep curve, they are very unsafe drugs. Slope, S for slope, S tells about safety of a drug. Slope safety के बारे में बताता है. If a drug is steep, it will increase the effect very quickly with slight increase in dose. On the other hand, अगर हमने drug B choose किया होता, although we need to give 20 milligram, but the comma will occur only at 200 milligram. That means even if a person take 2, 3, 4, 5 tablets, person will not go to coma. Okay, so slope tells about safety. So flat curve means safe drugs, steep curve means unsafe drugs. Okay? So clinically, the type A graph is shown by barbiturates. Barbiturates like phenobarbital, they have steep DRC, whereas benzodiazepines like diazepam, clonazepam, they have flat DRC. Clear? So which out of the two will you prefer for insomnia? So we will never give barbiturate for insomnia. We always use benzodiazepines for insomnia because they have flatter DRC. They are much more safer as compared to barbiturates. Clear? So three important parameters we discussed from the dose response curve. So quickly revising, what are these three parameters? One is potency, second is efficacy, and third is slope. So potency, we say PO means power, that means less dose. Efficacy means maximum effect, and these two you can easily know from the mnemonic HELP. So height tells about efficacy, left-sidedness tells about potency, and slope, S means safety. More steep curve unsafe, less steep curve means flat curve safer drug. Okay, so these are the three standard things about dose response curve: potency, efficacy, and slope. Now you can do many more things from the dose response curve. So what other things we can find out from DRC? First of all, we can find out whether the inhibitor is competitive or non-competitive. So for that, what we need to do? We will, log dose will be here, response will be here. So first what we will need to do is, first we need to plot a DRC with an agonist or a drug, simple drug, without giving any antagonist or inhibitor. So first, this is a standard without any other drug. This is the curve of a drug. Suppose drug A is given, at a dose of increasing doses. So the curve which is produced is this, which I have said is normal. Now we are giving drug A again, but already we have given this person the antagonist of A, the blocker of A or inhibitor of A. Okay? So when we have given inhibitor, now we again give increasing doses of A, and we plotted a DRC. Now we want to tell whether the inhibitor is competitive or non-competitive. So after that, means we are giving with inhibitor. Suppose inhibitor is either B, maybe competitive, or C, that may be non-competitive. So after giving B or C, we are giving drug A. Okay. So if the graph comes like this, so that means curve is shifting toward right, parallel shift to right. It is a competitive inhibitor. So that means when we give B plus A is increasing doses, B has shifted the curve to right, so it is a competitive inhibitor. On the other hand, if the curve shifts downwards like this, curve shifts downwards, it is non-competitive inhibitor. Remember? So if the curve shifts parallel to right, it is competitive inhibitor. If the curve shifts down, it is non-competitive inhibitor. You understand? So we need to see whether the curve is going to right or it is going to down. Clear? Now this is the standard thing you need to know. Parallel shift to right, it is competitive, and shift to downwards, same place, it is non-competitive. But once the question was asked, the curve is shifted to right also, down also. So curve is shifted like this. Now which type of inhibitor it is? It is shifted to down also and right also. Remember, whenever it is shifting to right, it is competitive. So this is a normal competitive. Whenever it is reversible, the height will remain same, efficacy will remain same. So when there is competitive reversible, it is parallel shift to right. But when there is right and down, it is irreversible competitive. Is it clear? So whenever it is right, means it is competitive. If it is at same place, that means efficacy is same, it is reversible. If it is downward, that means it is irreversible. Okay, you understand this concept? Parallel shift to right is competitive. If it is same height, it is reversible. If it is less height, it is irreversible. But if it is at same place going down, then it is non-competitive. Non-competitive. You understand? So that you can know about competitive and non-competitive inhibition from DRC. Okay. Now another thing you can know from DRC, selectivity. Selectivity. So what do you mean by selectivity? So I will tell you very easy thing here. We have log dose, we have response. But now this response is two different responses. Suppose we are giving a drug like adrenaline. Adrenaline can act on beta 1 receptor to cause tachycardia, and it can act on beta 2 receptor to cause bronchodilation. So we want to see these two actions, tachycardia and bronchodilation. So when we give increasing doses of adrenaline, so this is the effect on tachycardia, heart rate. This is effect on heart rate, and this is effect on bronchodilation. So that means these two curves are very close together. That means whatever dose of adrenaline you will use, both the action will come together. So both the action are seen at almost similar doses. You cannot separate these two actions. So that means adrenaline is a non-selective drug producing both bronchodilation and tachycardia. And we know that which receptor is producing what action. So we can say adrenaline is a non-selective beta 1 and beta 2 agonist. Okay. On the other hand, if we want to produce same effect with salbutamol, what it will do, it will produce bronchodilatory effect like adrenaline. That means bronchodilatory action of salbutamol is almost same. But when we want to produce tachycardia by salbutamol, the effect is seen at these doses. So this is tachycardia causing effect. This is bronchodilation causing effect of salbutamol. So that means if we give salbutamol in lesser dose, only this dose, then you can produce selective bronchodilation without causing tachycardia. So we can say salbutamol is a selective bronchodilator. If we give lower dose, it produces only bronchodilation. So salbutamol can be said to be selective beta 2 agonist. Adrenaline is non-selective agonist. Salbutamol is selective agonist. So how you came to know this from DRC? You came to know that if there is a wide separation between the two actions on the DRC, bronchodilatory action, tachycardia causing action, then the drug is selective for the left-sided action. If both are close together, drug is non-selective. But if they are widely separated on the x-axis, whichever action is on left side, the drug is selective for that. And if we know that which receptor is producing that action, we will say drug is selective for that receptor. So salbutamol is selective beta 2 agonist, whereas adrenaline is non-selective beta 1 and beta 2 agonist. Okay, so you can tell about selectivity from the dose response curve. Is it clear? You understand the concept of dose response curve? Okay, now coming to one more important thing. The DRC till now we were discussing was graded DRC. Now there is another DRC which is called as quantal DRC. Quantal DRC. What is the difference between graded and quantal DRC? Is the name says in graded DRC as well as in quantal DRC, on the x-axis we have log dose. But in graded DRC on the y-axis, we have grade of dose. Grade of dose. Grade of dose means lesser grade of response means lesser response, higher response, higher response, higher response, higher response. Okay? But suppose there is all or none phenomenon. Like we want to see the effect of a drug on mortality. Mortality. So what we will plot on y-axis. अगर हमें mortality देखना है कि दवाई देने से एक एनिमल, एक रैट, एक माइस मर रहा है कि नहीं मर रहा, तो वाई एक्सिस पे हम क्या प्लॉट करेंगे कि इतनी डोज देने से थोड़ा सा मर गया, इतनी डोज देने से थोड़ा सा और मर गया, इतनी डोज देने से आशिक बन गया, मतलब काफी सारा मर गया, और इतनी डोज देने से पूरा मर गया। ऑब्वियसली वी कैन नॉट डू दैट, क्योंकि मौत या तो आएगी या नहीं आएगी, है ना। ऐसा तो है नहीं कि कम मर गया ज्यादा मर गया। तो व्हेन देयर इज ऑल और नन फिनोमिनन, या तो होगा या नहीं होगा, देन हाउ वी विल प्लॉट द डीआरसी। सो ऑन दी वाई एक्सिस वी कैनॉट ग्रेड, क्योंकि ग्रेडिंग तो है ही नहीं, या तो है या नहीं है। तो व्हाट वी विल प्लॉट ऑन वाई एक्सिस इज परसेंटेज ऑफ सब्जेक्ट्स रिस्पॉन्डिंग, परसेंटेज ऑफ सब्जेक्ट्स रिस्पॉन्डिंग। रिमेंबर यहां पे ग्रेड नहीं आएगा, यहां पे we will not give to one person, we will give to many people, many animal or many individuals. So we will see how many out of that are responding to that particular dose. So when there is more than one, remember graded DRC में तो एक को ही देते हैं बार बार, पहले 2 मिलीग्राम, फिर 4 मिलीग्राम, फिर 8 मिलीग्राम, 16 मिलीग्राम, एक को ही बार बार देते हैं। बट क्वांटल डीआरसी में इट इज गिवन टू मेनी पीपल, सेम डोज इज गिवन टू मेनी पीपल, एंड वी विल सी उसमें से कितनों में रिस्पॉन्स आई। मोर्टेलिटी यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि हमने 100 को दिया, उसमें से कितने एनिमल मर गए, 5 मर गए, 10 मर गए, 20 मर गए, 80 मर गए, ये तो समझ आया। बट कैन यू प्लॉट अ क्वांटल डीआरसी फॉर एंटी हाइपरटेंसिव इफेक्ट? कर सकते हो नहीं कर सकते? जिसकी ग्रेडिंग हो सकती है, क्या उसका क्वांटल डीआरसी बन सकता है? यस और नो? यस, उसका भी बन सकता है। ओनली डिफरेंस इज वी विल मेक अ बेस लाइन। सो हम एक राइडर लगा देंगे कि अगर 20 मिलीमीटर मर्करी से ज्यादा बीपी कम हुआ तभी हम उसको पॉजिटिव मानेंगे, अगर 19 भी कम हुआ तो उसको नेगेटिव मानेंगे। दैट मींस 20 मिलीमीटर अगर कम हुआ तो प्लस प्रेजेंट, 20 से कम हुआ तो एब्सेंट, एनी कट ऑफ वैल्यू वी कैन कीप। So we will see in how many percentage of the people who have got the dose the BP has increased, in how many BP has not increased. So accordingly we will plot. So if we see the quantal DRC, the shape is same, it is also S-shaped curve. Quantal DRC is also S-shaped curve. Remember quantal DRC, on the y-axis we are putting the quantity. Quantal means quantity, that means percentage of people respond. Now suppose we plot this for two quantal DRCs we have plotted. One quantal DRC we have plotted for mortality, death, how many animals are dying with a particular dose, and second we have plotted it for effective dose. Effective dose, how many are getting the desired action. Now if we see the middle portion of this, the middle portion of this, it is 50%. 50%. So that means the dose at which 50% of the animals die. So this is that dose. This dose at which 50% of the animals die, that is known as LD50. Lethal dose in 50%. इतनी डोज देने से 50% एनिमल्स मर गए। Similarly, the dose at which 50% of the person get the desired response, that is known as ED50, effective dose in 50%. Yeah? So ED50 is effective dose in 50%, LD50 is lethal dose in 50%. Yeah? Now the difference between this margin is the safe margin. Okay? So if we divide the two, LD50 by ED50, this is known as therapeutic index of a drug. Therapeutic index of a drug. So therapeutic index is simply margin of safety of a drug. Therapeutic index is margin of safety, how safe the drug is. Logically speaking, do you want LD50 to be high or to be low? If you want to use a drug clinically, what will be your better choice? LD50 should be high or should be low? आप क्या चाहते हो? LD50 किसी दवाई की ज्यादा होनी चाहिए या कम होनी चाहिए? एज अ डॉक्टर आप प्रैक्टिस में बैठे हो, आप कौन सी दवाई उठाओगे? एक जिसकी LD50 ज्यादा है, एक जिसकी LD50 कम है। विच ड्रग विल यू प्रेफर? ऑब्वियसली वी वांट LD50 टू बी हाई, क्योंकि हम चाहते हैं कि बहुत ज्यादा डोज देने पे ही हमारा पेशेंट मरे, कम डोज पे ना मरे. सो LD50 वैल्यू वी वांट इट टू बी हाई. if LD50 is low means drug is not good for us. Okay? On the other hand we want ED50 to be low. हम चाहते हैं कि कम डोज पे एक्शन आ जाए, एक्शन कम डोज पे आ जाए बट डेथ करने वाली डोज बहुत ज्यादा हो. तो वी वांट ED50 ऑफ अ ड्रग टू बी लो. क्लियर? So agar high is divided by low, that means the value should be high. So more the value of this LD50 by ED50, higher the value, the safe the drug is. Clear? So therapeutic index tells the margin of safety of a drug. If therapeutic index is high, the drug is safe. If therapeutic index is low, drug is unsafe. Clear? So you can remember this from the mnemonic TILE, TILE. So TILE says that therapeutic index of a drug is equal to LD50 divided by ED50. Therapeutic index of a drug is LD50 divided by ED50. And in the exams, the question is asked, they give the values, they give this type of graph, and they will say this is 800 milligram, this is 100 milligram. So calculate the therapeutic index of a drug. So it is very easy question. So therapeutic index is 800 by 100. So answer will be 8 in this case. Clear? So therapeutic index in this example is 800 divided by 100. So it will come out to be 8. Okay. Is it clear? So that is about the quantal DRs. Clear? And lastly, there are some non-linear DRs. Non-linear DRC means which is not S-shaped curves, which are not S-shaped curves. So that is important only for students appearing for D vivas. Normally they are not important. So non-linear DRCs may be U-shaped or inverted U-shaped DRCs. Inverted U-shaped DRCs. So in some cases, if we plot a DRC, so log dose and response. So what you can note is the graph may be like U-shaped, like this shape of DRC. That means the response, it is high, good response at low dose, gradually increasing the dose, response keep on decreasing, and it becomes lowest, and on increasing the dose, response further start increasing. Or the opposite way, it may be inverted U-shape. Inverted U-shape, by increasing the dose, response increases, become maximum, further increase, the response keep on decreasing. Okay? So this can be shown by drugs like vitamins. Like vitamins, if we say at low doses, if they are not present, they cause deficiency problems, harmful effects. Clear? So if they are present in lower doses, the effect is good effect, good effect, good effect. But if they become toxic, again bad effect, bad effect, bad effect. Clear? So this type of graphs are non-linear DRCs, U-shaped DRCs, or inverted U-shaped DRCs shown by vitamins or even toxins. Some very toxins, even alcohol, like if we say effect of alcohol on cardiovascular, at very low dose they may be protective, at high doses they may be harmful. Clear? So these are the different type of dose response curves. Okay, so I think we have finished our lecture. So if you have any doubts, you are most welcome to ask. So any questions? So I think job is done. Thank you, Ramchandar Rao, Anubhav Tyagi, Shikhawats, Prajapati Deep, Hansraj Durata, Santosh Yadav, Ramchandar Rao, Maharu, Geetu, Rajkumar. So thank you very much. So we will meet in the next class next Friday. So till then, I think bye bye for now. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.